is a black king right there. That is a beautiful man right there. That is... Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zwa and today we are talking about the season 1 finale, the 6th episode of Loki. The episode that has set up so much of phase 4 and possibly even beyond phase 4. Like, whoa. So it's definitely been a while, and I obviously didn't review episodes 3, 4, and 5, so I might just touch up on the series as a whole, and I'll focus on this episode specifically because so much happened. Well, not a lot happened, but so much was told to us. So we pick up where we left off in the previous episode. Sylvie and Loki just managed to enchant that big smoke monster Alliance, and they are basically in the void or the citadel where we meet... Oh my god. I'm sorry, like every time I think about him, wow, oh my god. You meet He Who Remains, or Kang, played by none other than Emmy-nominated Jonathan Majors. Listen up, right? Like, I have deep thoughts about Jonathan Majors. Deep thoughts. That is a black king right there. That is a beautiful man right there. That is... Folks, listen, he can conquer my timeline any day, and I will thank him gratefully for doing so. He can hang up my life, and I will gladly allow him to do it, because, yes. Anyways, Kang, or He Who Remains, or Immortus, because he really does look like Immortus, but anyways, He Who Remains basically gives us a shit ton of exposition, and there was a lot of exposition in this show, right? Maybe a little bit too much for my liking, but to be fair, this is the, final episode in the first season of a show, because we know that Loki season 2 is coming out, and I have thoughts about that I'll, touch on later. You know what, towards the end, I realized, you know what, the purpose of this show was to set up for phase 4 and phase 4 going forward. And I feel like, although the show was relatively self-contained, it had a lot to do to set up the next big baddie of the MCU. It had to, set up the concept of the multiverse and, set up, some MCU projects that are like coming out pretty soon, like Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. And I think in Multiverse of Madness especially, we will be dealing with the catastrophic ramifications of this final episode. And I mean, we'll definitely see it in No Way Home, considering that Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 and Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man 2 will be in the movie, even though they're not part of the MCU canon. We're going to be dealing with the ramifications of this catastrophic event in this episode quite soon. So it had a lot to do. And, the writer of the show, Michael Waldron, who is also a writer for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So I'm really excited now for the next Doctor Strange movie. But Michael Waldron did say that, he wanted Loki to be big. Like, he sat down with Kevin Feige and they both agreed that this, show needs to be big. It needs to affect the MCU in a massive way going forward. And to be fair, I think they did a really good job of doing that, of accomplishing that. This show, out of the 3 MCU shows, is less self-contained compared to WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I fucking hated. I'm going to talk about that in a review soon. Loki is self-contained, but also not, so self-contained compared to the other two shows. And, looking back, all three shows have their ups and downs. Falcon and the Winter Soldier having more downs than up. But Loki as a show, as a whole, was really, really good. I adored the banter and the relationship between Mobius and Loki, and I'm now really, really gutted that Mobius has forgotten Loki. And I'm really, really sad because, Tom Hiddleston did say that in episode 5 when Loki says to Mobius, "Thank you, friend." That is a massive moment for Loki. And, it changes who Loki is as a character. It's a massive character development for Loki. And, it's just sad that the person who is Loki's friend, his confidant, someone that he really does genuinely trust, and someone who trusts him doesn't remember him anymore. And it's going to be really sad. Can my boy Loki just have a break? Can he get a fucking break? Please, Kevin Feige, give Loki a fucking break. So, Sylvie being Sylvie, she is still angry. Rightfully so. Though she does kill He Who Remains and therefore setting in motion an impending multiversal war and bringing in Kang the Conqueror, she's kind of justified in her anger. Like, she spent her whole life on the run. And although I am furious at the choice that she made, I understand it. And I think that's what I appreciate about her character. Like, although her actions may make me angry sometimes, I understand her and I can find justification in her actions, and that is okay. That is fine. It is what it is. She's done what she did, and she is now just lying in the Citadel alone. She betrayed Loki. Loki's also gonna reel from that betrayal, and he's also gonna wonder where he stands with Sylvie. Kang is now in the picture, and I am so incredibly excited for a number of reasons. Like, reason being is that Kang is an intriguing and interesting villain in the comic book universe, and I'm definitely going to do a lot more research on this character because I've only ever seen or watched or read about him in the cartoons, especially in the Fantastic Four cartoons that have played on, SABC3 and stuff. So that's my only interaction with this character. So I definitely want to read more about him. But another reason why I'm excited about the MCU going forward is that we're really going to see the Nexus beings have a bigger role. From what I read and from what I know, just based off comic books, Nexus beings in the comic books at least, and I don't know how they're going to be interpreted in the MCU, but the Nexus beings are beings that are extremely powerful in the comic book universe of Marvel and have the ability to change the probabilities and the very fundamental aspects of reality. And one such Nexus being that we know of is Scarlet Witch. So I'm interested to see how Scarlet Witch is utilized in the MCU going forward, because I think that Scarlet Witch is a really wonderful character, and I'm so glad that WandaVision happened so that we get to explore and expand on her character. I really want the MCU to utilize her to her greatest potential. In the comics, she's that bitch. She does amazing, wild things, and I really want it to be utilized a lot more. I'm really glad that she's even in the next Doctor Strange movie. I'm really excited to see where she goes with that character. There's just so much, that this episode set us up for. Now, it just makes so much sense how we're going to see the other versions of Spider-Man in Spider-Man No Way Home, how we're going to see the other versions of, Doc Ock and Electro, and it's just, honestly, the MCU is I just want to comment on the visuals of the series as a whole. The colors are so good in this show. The way that the visuals are, the way the show looks is just so gorgeous. How we see the sacred timeline splintering and creating branches, and how those branches have branches, and how those branches have other branches. It is madness. Like, it was so appealing on my eyes. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like, I went to sleep thinking about the episode, and I woke up thinking about this episode. The music. I need the music on Spotify immediately. Kevin Feige, Michael Waldron, Kate Herron, like, do that. Put music on Spotify. I need it, like, expeditiously, because the score is probably my favorite score in the MCU shows. Like, it's just so gorgeous. I loved every minute of it. Did have a few problems with the pacing in terms of the series. Like, there were some episodes where I was like, okay, haha, this is cool, but like, let's get back on track. And I do think that some storylines were a lot more interesting than others. Whenever Sylvie and Loki was there, I was honed in on that storyline. Whereas the storyline with Gugumbata Ro's character, I forgot her name, Renslayer. Yeah, whenever her storyline trying to figure out who the timekeepers are and that jazz, I was like, I don't care that much. Like, can we get back to Loki and Sylvie? And also, whenever, Loki and Mobius interacted, it was just so fun. It was so fun. It was so wholesome. And like the buddy, cop bromance that they had going on throughout the show was like really, really lovely to watch. And I enjoyed so much of it. So there's obviously so much to talk about, but then this damn video would be like an hour long. So let me know what you think. Let me know how, you found the show. Let me know how you found this episode. What do you think of Kang the Conqueror? What do you think of Jonathan Majors? And I promise you, if you say anything bad about my Black King, I swear to God, I'll find a way to block you. I will find you and I will make you eat those words back into your mouth, because no one can come for Jonathan Majors. No one. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye!